Hey everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to another video from the Facts and Legends channel. Many people imagine the medieval era as a romantic time filled with princesses and grand castles. But behind all that glamour, people had habits that would probably make you gag today. In this video, we're diving into the grossest practices of the Middle Ages. Let's get started. Human waste was often stored in chamber pots kept under the bed. Bathrooms, when they existed, were usually simple latrines located outside the house, often just a hole in the ground. Out of fear or laziness to venture out at night, people commonly used these chamber pots for their nightly needs. In the morning, the pots were emptied, often by tossing the contents out of a window and directly onto the streets, a practice that added to the already overwhelming stench of medieval towns. Imagine walking down the street and suddenly being hit by human waste. Disgusting, right? In medieval castles, toilets called garderobes were built protruding from the walls, allowing waste to drop straight into the surrounding moats. Cleaning these garderobes was no easy task and often relied on rainwater collected in cisterns. The lack of proper sewage systems and the habit of dumping waste into the streets significantly contributed to the spread of diseases and the overall unsanitary conditions of medieval cities. Shared bathwater during the Middle Ages, there was no running water or proper bathrooms, which greatly influenced personal hygiene habits. Bathing was not a common practice, partly due to the cold climate and lack of infrastructure. When baths did take place, they were done in large tubs shared by all family members. The order usually followed the family hierarchy. The head of the household bathed first, followed by other adults, and finally the children. This practice often left the water dirtier for those who bathed last. Additionally, the belief that dirt was beneficial to health was widespread, and personal hygiene was not a priority. To be considered clean, it was enough to wash one's hands and face. Dental treatments were limited to tooth extractions during the Middle Ages. Dental practices were rudimentary and often brutal. The profession of dentistry as we know it today did not exist. Tooth extractions were performed by barbers, who also served as surgeons. These practitioners used basic tools, such as pliers, often in unhygienic conditions. Extractions were carried out without anesthesia, making the procedure excruciatingly painful for patients. The lack of knowledge about proper oral hygiene contributed to severe tooth decay, frequently necessitating extractions. Moreover, physicians of the time avoided such tasks, leaving them to barbers. This highlights the medical and sanitary limitations of the period, resulting in treatments that were both painful and largely ineffective. Laundry in the Middle Ages. During the Middle Ages, doing laundry was an arduous and infrequent task, often carried out only once or twice a year. Urine, due to its ammonia content, and ashes rich in potassium were commonly used. This combination created a solution effective in removing dirt and stains from fabrics. The typical process involved soaking clothes in a mixture of water and urine, followed by manual agitation or the use of a tool. Afterward, the garments were rinsed to reduce the foul odor. However, even with rinsing, it was common for clothing to retain unpleasant smells due to the materials used in cleaning. The difficulty of the washing process contributed to its infrequency. Additionally, hygiene perceptions at the time were vastly different from today, and cleaning clothes was not considered a priority. Washing your face wasn't entirely safe. There are some accounts suggesting that people in the Middle Ages used urine to wash their faces, though this cannot be definitively proven. Urine was widely employed in various hygiene and medical practices due to its chemical properties. The ammonia formed from the breakdown of urea had cleaning and bleaching qualities. Medieval tanners often collected urine in large vats to clean hides and whiten fabrics. Additionally, there are records of urine being used in medicinal preparations and possibly in personal hygiene routines. A servant to clean the king after his needs. During the Tudor period in England, there was a peculiar court position known as the groom of the stool. This official was responsible for assisting the king with his bodily functions, including managing the stool, a portable seat used as a toilet, and possibly aiding in the monarch's personal hygiene. Despite the seemingly unpleasant nature of the role, the position of groom of the stool was highly sought after. Physical proximity to the king made it a role of great trust and intimacy, granting the holder influence over royal decisions and access to favors. Under King Henry VIII, the groom of the stool became one of the most powerful positions in the court, with direct involvement in both personal and political matters. The significance of this role highlights the power dynamics and hierarchical structure of European courts at the time, where closeness to the sovereign could dictate one's status and influence. And you might wonder, was there toilet paper back then? Of course not. People used leaves, while the wealthy preferred sheep's wool for cleaning themselves. Dirty beds hygiene practices in the Middle Ages were quite limited, and washing bed linens was a rare occurrence, often done only once or twice a year. This lack of regular cleaning created an ideal environment for the spread of various pests and insects, such as bedbugs. These small parasitic insects feed exclusively on the blood of humans or domestic animals and tend to hide in cracks and crevices in mattresses and cushions. The presence of bedbugs in bedding led to bites that caused itching, swelling, and redness on the skin. Moreover, bedbugs are incredibly resilient, capable of surviving temperatures ranging from -10 degrees Celsius to 45 degrees Celsius, and going up to a year without feeding, making them particularly difficult to eliminate. Flowers as natural perfumes. Due to the lack of hygiene and sanitation practices, enclosed spaces often carried unpleasant odors. To counter these smells, people commonly used flowers, aromatic herbs, and spices as natural deodorizers. Fragrant plant bundles were hung in homes, or small bouquets were carried to mask body odor. One tradition that illustrates this practice is the use of bridal bouquets. To disguise lingering body odors, brides would carry flower bouquets during ceremonies. This not only helped mask unpleasant smells, but also gave rise to the tradition of bridal bouquets that continues today. In addition to bouquets, people used scented ointments and other natural fragrances to cover the odors resulting from infrequent bathing. Hairstyles. To achieve various hairstyles, people often relied on wigs. These wigs were typically made from human or animal hair, and animal fat was used to style and secure them in place. Applying animal fat gave the wigs shape and durability, but it also created a favorable environment for parasites like lice and other insects. Over time, the fat would turn rancid, producing unpleasant odors. To mask these smells, scented powders were commonly applied. While these powders offered temporary relief, they couldn't completely eliminate the problem. Fake eyebrows. To achieve thicker or more stylized eyebrows, some people used patches of mouse skin. These small pieces were placed over their natural brows to create the desired look. Well, folks, that's it for today's video. Take care and see you next time.